Hi guys, here we are, wisdom number 29, learn to trust your own counsel. I had a really interesting experience with this one. So I was speaking at a professional coaching event, and at the end, after all the speakers had finished, we sort of formed a panel, and then we were asked lots of questions. And one of the questions I was asked is, have you ever hired a professional coach? And I said, no. And they asked me, why not? And I said, well, if I need advice, I always know who to ask it from. I'm very specific about where I go for advice. And they responded, well, that's obviously why you need a coach. And I was like, well, but that's sort of a bit strange, because I would presume that if you were going to be coaching people, one of the goals that you would have would be to get them to the point where they were trusting their own counsel. I think that's a strength, not a weakness, right? And it's not an arrogance. It's a case of you sort of take all of the different inputs from around you that are going on in your life, and then you draw your own conclusions based on your knowledge, your experiences, your insights, your perspectives, the data of life, and you take the perspectives of other people, but not everybody is in a position to give you that advice. And I think, where do you get advice from? It's all you have to do is be pregnant with your first child to know how willing people are to give you unsolicited advice. And that was probably one of the strangest times in my life. Just complete strangers asked me, is this your first child? And at that point I would say yes, and then they'd tell me what it was like to be a mother, what it was like to give birth, and they told me all the terrible, terrible, terrible things that had happened along the journey of pregnancy and giving birth and the first year of having a child. And it started to get me into a really bad place, and I was like 3 months pregnant by this point. And I remember Steve just said to me, all right, that's it. We don't listen to anybody else, we don't ask anyone else. And then I came up with another strategy. So ladies, if you're pregnant for the first time, my strategy is, and this is the only piece of advice I'll ever give you about being pregnant, if people ask you if it's your first, tell them it's your 10th, and everyone will leave you alone. So if you're pregnant, only ask for advice of people who are as aligned to you as a human being, as a woman, so that you're asking advice off the right people. But so getting back to the learning to trust your own counsel, we had a really interesting example this week with Jax, who's 11. And he came up with an idea of something he really wanted to do. And I could see lots of holes in his planning, and I discussed the holes, but he was pretty determined, and that's cool. It's his life, his decision. So he went ahead that day with his plans to execute, and one of his best friends convinced him to approach it in a different way. And guess what? It backfired. And what Jaxie had done is he had ignored his own inner counsel. And it gave me a really nice opportunity to sit down and talk to him about that and just say, be true to yourself, be true to who you are, be true to what you want to achieve and how you're going to go about things. So, some people would see that as being arrogant. I don't think it is at all. I think you've got to get to the point where you've got to stop looking for external input and external ideas and start working out, well, what's yours? What's your thoughts? What's your beliefs? What aligns closely to who you are? So I think a lot of people forget to trust their own counsel, and I think your life can be a lot better and a lot more powerful and a lot stronger if you can really start doing it again. So wisdom 29, learn to trust your own counsel. This has been a really good learning for me, and if you've found that there's too many people giving you advice and it's not really resonating with you, maybe it's a good chance just to step back and say, all right, well, what do I think? What do I really think? What aligns with me, with my spirit, with what I want to achieve in the world? So learning to trust your own counsel, I think, is a very, very powerful tool for life. So I wanted to share it with you as wisdom number 29, learning to trust your own counsel. See you tomorrow for number 30. We're getting there.